Hello, and welcome to another glorious day for pursuing what you want from life. That might be material, might be spiritual. We're looking at how you can really be true to yourself through the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, focusing on its key point, Samatvam, meaning equilibrium, or more literally, being essentially the same, being the same in all circumstances. We're going through the Gita again, looking at how it describes Samatvam so that we can cultivate it in our lives. And we're on chapter 2 today. So in chapter 2, in chapter 1 I mentioned it's kind of, in a way, an overview of all the different ways our moods can swing. Same situation, but we have one view on it and we're like gung-ho. We have another view on it and we just can't do it. It's impossible. And this can really reflect our mindset in life. Certain things we think I could never do, it's impossible. We see other people do them. What's the difference? And vice versa. Certain things we can do and other people can't. I've experienced this in my family. Some people in my family are really good at wanting to be around with the start of life, like births. I'm terrified. I don't want to be around when someone's being born. But when they're dying, I'm your gal. And I don't know why exactly. Let's start looking at why certain things affect us so much. So in chapter 1, Arjun realizes, or we realize through reading his example, same situation. Sometimes I feel this way, sometimes I feel this way. What's that about? In chapter 2, Krishna starts giving him ideas. Oh, before looking at the more, how do I put it? The more explicit descriptions of Samatvam, like being the same, whether it's cold or hot. Krishna is going to go to the root and talk about why we vary so much. Because if we can get to the heart of why we vary, then instead of trying to impose something on ourselves, like, here's a situation and I'm stressful, I shouldn't be stressful, I should be the same, then we can just go, oh yes, and we achieve that equilibrium. Or if we can't, we realize it's because of this and we process that particular aspect of ourselves. So for example, let's look at something in the material world that might help. Our physical bodies are built to maintain homeostasis, that is, to be essentially the same, right? To maintain a certain body temperature, to maintain a certain level of blood sugar, for example. These are just simple examples. We can look around us, like we have the beautiful Lake Erie, one of the biggest freshwater reservoirs in the world. And when Europeans first got here, it was beautifully divine. You could drink right out of it. Yeah, well, not so much anymore. Why? Well, when the first European settlers got here, Lake Erie was essentially itself. It had developed ecosystems over millennia that supported life, and that if something came into it that was foreign or wasn't usable, it had ways of dealing with it. And for example, putting a harsh chemical in a drop of harsh chemical in a clean Lake Erie, and Lake Erie has the ability to just let that poison dissipate and it becomes ineffective. It doesn't harm anything. However, when we start putting too much crap in the lake and then we put another little thing in, the lake can't handle it anymore, and rivers catch on fire that go into the lake. But the lake itself, if we restore it, the rivers, if we restore it, they can handle stressors. When we put in things that are not natural to them and too much of it, the ability to handle stress and return to homeostasis is destroyed. And we can see this in our lives. One of the things that the Gita talks about in chapter 2 is who we truly are. And who we truly are can't be killed, can't be hurt. And if we accept that, life is different. Life is a lot more even keel, for example, because we get rid of a lot of the fear and stress of life right there. But we've allowed crap to come into our lives. crap from society, from other people, even from ourselves. We get these thought patterns going like, I'm not good enough. And we give each other, give ourselves, we'll give each other and ourselves crap all day. And then a little trigger comes along and we blow up and we don't know why. Or a little something comes in and our bodies go into a state, a shock of failure. So chapter 2 is encouraging us to recognize that we've got crap that we have to process. And it's so important at the start of the spiritual journey, because until we are willing to face that, all the other fancy spiritual stuff we do isn't going to have much effect. It's going to be like throwing one clean drop of water into a polluted lake or river. Okay. Over a lot of time, it'll help, but it'll take so much time. If we get to the heart of what's causing the pollution and shut it off, we'll get there a lot faster. So today, we'll do something a little different. First of all, I want to dedicate the practice to Kelly. Thank you for your comment. This is for you and all your family. May you continue to benefit. And also, if you enjoy spending time together and you want to learn more about poses or breathing practices, we're having new classes starting this week. The link is below that will take you there. We'll learn, you can learn other techniques like we're going to do today. So this one, often we do mudra, which is very nice and simple. But today, a breathing technique. Also simple, but I've found to be extremely powerful. Like when I do this technique, for example, it helps my allergies a lot. It like clears out all the stress crap so that I don't, when a small thing gets introduced into my system, I don't go, and overreact. I need more of that on the mental level. So this is like spiritual purification here. And it's called Vishuddhi shuddhi, special cleansing. It cleans out the crap. This is said to be the area in our body that really helps us process crap. And there are stories about that. We don't have time today. Maybe tomorrow. Anyway, for Vishuddhi shuddhi today, you imagine that you're breathing in. There's this little hollow in the throat here. And you're taking the breath straight back to the spine where neck meets shoulders. So you inhale this way, and then you exhale from spine and out the front. It's a mental practice that works with the breath and can have, in my experience, a lot of benefit, even done for just a short time. So shall we start cleaning out the crap? The beauty of it is, and I think this is one of the keys to noticing spiritual progress, is we all have our triggers. Often the triggers are not something we're born with. They're put there. And when we can remove them, just imagine a trigger-free life. You have no buttons that people can push. All right. You can try that breath in the balance pose. And of course, when we sit, it may be easier. Let's do it. Switch. Alrighty. Time for our sitting practice. If you'd like, you can have that Vishuddhi Shuddhi, breathing in through the pit of the throat to the spine, exhaling from spine out the front of the neck. Let's try something for 5. Welcome back. I hope you found that practice beneficial. Start clearing out the crap so that you become more purely and essentially yourself. I have in the notes today, none of the weather people can agree what direction the wind is coming from. And life is like that. We don't know what directions things are going to be coming at us from. But our practice can help us stay steady, whatever is in store. Until tomorrow, may you find steadiness.